Hello out there, everybody. How are we doing tonight? Thank you for joining us for round number 4 at Laguna Seca. This is the GT3 series brought to you by CDA here at Trackalicious. I'm Whelpcakes. It's been a while since I've done commentary around here, but I'm happy to be here to help out. And with me in the booth, Mr. Eric Gukasian. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
Hey, Mr. Whelpcakes. I'm doing really well. Very, very happy to have you back. It's been a while, and it's always lovely to have you back, and super excited about the stream tonight.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Laguna is one of my favorite tracks of all time. Big fan of the Monterey circuit. But real quick, sound check for anybody in chat. This is my first actual stream since reinstalling. So hopefully it sounds okay. But if there's anything wrong with the levels in chat, just let me know. Oh, we had somebody going to the wall. Looks like that was Jacob Cunningham. He's going to go back to the pits. Real quick, let's take a look at the racing info for today here for round number 4. Laguna Seca, everyone's favorite. Unless you're Beltan. He hates this track, and he hates the Miata on it. Anyway, round 4 Laguna Seca, we do have a 1-hour race on offer tonight. The drivers on track are finishing up free practice, and then we will go into a 15-minute open qualifying session, and then, of course, your 16-minute feature race. 19 degrees is the ambient temperature with a 90% humidity, cloudy skies, and 6 kilometer per hour winds. 3.57 kilometers. Laguna's a classic. Eric, what do you think about Laguna? How do you feel about the track?
So, I have been very fortunate to actually have driven Laguna in real life. It is a phenomenal piece of tarmac, and while it was an amazing life event, I feel like it's a deterrent in sim racing. It holds me back because I feel the fear of going through the second sector of every blind corner and all the walls that are there, which you don't really realize in sim racing, but you are very aware of when you're on a real life racetrack. So I love it. Amazing. You know, it's a classic, right? It's one of the ones that you as a child and us all as children remember being the epic corkscrew, and it's a legend of its own. So yeah, one of the best racetracks in the world. Can be challenging to race on sometimes and to pass, but super fun to watch and super fun to drive on, and I can attest to that for sure.
Excellent. Yeah, I love Laguna. I mean, it's one of those tracks that I got exposed to in video games early on as a kid. Yeah, it's iconic. Anybody that's played it in Gran Turismo knows what I'm talking about. That first feeling when you go down the corkscrew. It almost seems like even inside a video game, this shouldn't be real. Yeah, it's an amazing track. Free practice ticking down here. No comments in chat about sound levels, so I think we're good for that. Real quick though, Eric. So, been looking at the SimGrid site and just kind of curious based on like where the drivers are at relative to the results and stuff like that. Who are you looking at tonight in terms of like pace? Is there anybody that you feel like could potentially do really well at Laguna that maybe didn't have a good first, second, or third round?
There's a couple of people who always stick out. I would say that the names that come to mind off the top of my head, because I don't have a list in front of me right now, but the names of Josh Willis, always kind of in contention. I don't think he's won one yet, but he's always up there kind of nipping at the heels of the others. Jacob Cunningham, just incredible driver, super fast. And I'm not sure what he's running today, but he usually handicaps himself to make things a little bit more fair with the rest of the grid, but incredibly quick. We have a lot of new names as well. Turner Johnson, who was in tight battles for leads with Bronson Turner, so the two Turners. Yeah, so those are a handful of names. And let's not forget, Cody Wassam has been the bridesmaid so many times and not quite the bride. And I think he's got a win in him. He always does. Just something or the other doesn't work out for him, and hopefully today's the day where he can pull it off.
Interesting. I think for me, just like looking at some of the names and seeing some of the new names around here, the other thing I'm noticing, uh, other than the fact you guys have a lot of new names, this is the first race for me in iRacing calling GT3 racing with both the Ford, well, actually the Ford, the Corvette, and the Acura, which is kind of crazy. So it's been a minute since I've called a race with GT3s. I'm really kind of looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and I mean, I just love the fact that they keep adding these amazing cars into this simulator, and I'm really looking forward to seeing kind of what these cars can do around here. Um, but yeah, the names that you're talking about, this Wesley Avila um, had from what it looks like, a really good round 2 in the NSX. Tell me a little about Wesley.
I wish I could. That is a new name to me. I don't think I've heard that name before. Must be one of the newer drivers here, and it's a lovely thing to see. I try to familiarize myself with everyone that races around here, whether it's in our ACC series or our LMU. It's kind of getting tough to remember everybody's name with over
Yeah.
2,000 people in Discord, but Wesley is definitely a new name to me, at least, whether or not he's been racing with us for a couple of weeks or not. But love seeing this growing grid, and I think right before practice ended, we were looking at 32-ish cars on the grid, which is
I
a
know.
fantastic number
That is a
for Laguna
very,
Seca.
very good number. Yeah, it is. It's good to see a packed house here at Laguna. Doing some adjustments in the overlays right now. We do have some times getting ready to come in. We got Jacob Cunningham, Travis Bartlett, Kevin Boland, and Jeff Dallas currently at least got half a time lap under their belt. Taking a double check real quick at timing and scoring. Yeah, it looks like it's maybe, I might be crazy, but I haven't seen a clean lap yet. There we go. Kevin Boland jumps in there with a 1:22.62. Get that race info pulled up. And there is Bartlett, 1.3 seconds off the pace. Man, that is a full... Man, you can look at the track map and you can see that traffic is going to definitely be a factor here at Laguna.
It's awesome. I'm
Yep.
so excited.
Yep.
It's we're relatively the community's not new to iRacing, but us hosting events, we are new to it. It's only been a couple of seasons, so to see a grid so full and with such quite a good handful of talented and quick drivers as Jace Wright chops the charts there. It's exciting. It's really exciting to see this grow at what is primarily at the moment an ACC community, but we're trying to diversify. We're not ACC snobs as some may think. I love all types of racing. Whatever, give me a trash can with a motor and I'll race it, even if it's simulated. You know.
Yeah. I mean, me too. I mean, I love the simulators for all of their individual strengths. Oh, hey Muff, how you doing? Muff.
Hey Muff.
Muff in chat. Hope you're having a good afternoon, good evening. Yeah, I mean, I just love the characteristics that each of the sims bring to the table. I mean, iRacing, without a doubt, easily the best endurance simulator available to us right now. Tire model, or well, actually, like the handling model isn't necessarily what everyone likes. Dealing with the crazy lack of slip angle that you can put into these cars before you lose control of them. But for me, for someone who drives like I'm going out to get the groceries, it feels right for me because I'm like most of the time very close to the limit, but not really kind of like pushing too far over. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like all the simulators have something good to offer. Just taking a peek right now, Michael Hickman currently sitting 11th with a 23.8. So, and there's Avila, 21.9. Just jumps right ahead of Jace Wright by 0.2. That is interesting. Dakota Knapp, not too far off. He's only 0.03 of a second off Jace Wright's time.
I'm surprised to see that there's such a small number of valid laps, and the traffic could be playing a real role here, even in qualifying. As I think we're looking at Brunner there behind one of the Turners or one of the Stooge cars anyways. I know there's multiple of them now. Oh, Jacob Church, thank you so much, man. You are such a legend. Appreciate all your support.
I like that the alerts just worked. You like that? We just loaded in the profile and the alerts just worked. That's amazing. Technology,
Phil,
man. Look at us.
every once in a while we do know what we're doing. Not always, but every once in a while.
I really do like the fact that you're going to take credit for that as opposed to just it being blind luck. I appreciate that. You keep doing that. Do that with a brave face. I think people will catch on. The thing I was going to say to you about the traffic, right, is I mean, Laguna's a tough track to push and get a valid lap on when you got clear air. When you've got this many cars going around track, it's tough. Man, I'm just really looking forward to the start of this race. I don't think the drivers are looking forward to that trip into turn 2. I think the Andretti hairpin is going to be pretty exciting with this many cars. Hopefully there's not too many fireworks. Well, says, I'm good, about to head out to the kids' last basketball game of the season. Fantastic.
Love me some basketball. Crazy trades happening out in the basketball world right now. It's unreal. Luka Doncic going over to the Lakers. That's I don't know. I don't even know what to think about that. I haven't had enough time to digest it.
As an avid sports ball fan, as you know me, I know exactly what you're talking about, both the player and the teams. I mean, I know who the Lakers are, but I think if the player did not appear as a guest on NBA Jam, I don't know who they are. Genuinely.
That's a very good reference and a good place to get your basketball knowledge from.
Oh yeah. NBA Jam on SNES, love that game. Played it for hours. Little wobble there from the My Little Pony Mustang.
I would hazard to guess that he was just warming his tires up over there.
I mean, maybe that works. I don't know. Let's look. What else we got going on track here? So Jacob Cunningham's got green sectors in 2 and 3, but is going to lose a little bit of time in sector 4. Take a look and see if Cunningham improves.
Oh, goodness.
Well, that's a 21.9. I think that counts.
Yeah, let's remember. Let's remember he's in the Ford GT. That's a pretty severely handicapped car in the GT3 class. It is an older release, and for Cunningham to top charts with that car is just unbelievable. The guy is so freaking quick. It's lovely to see.
That man is in the Honda, but that's still a fast car.
Cunningham is?
Cunningham is in the NSX.
Oh.
Yeah. No. But here's the thing, though. Top of the time charts in the Ford, though, is Cody Wassum. Excuse me, not the GT. He's in the Mustang. Do we have anybody in the old Ford?
I swear there's a black and white Ford.
There's a Venom. Oh, look at Josh Willis. Look at Joshua Willis with a 21.8 around here. Look at that spread between the top 3. Isn't that crazy?
Unbelievable. And Josh is driving injured today. I know he had a tweak, I'm sorry.
Do what now? He's hurt? Driving hurt?
Yeah. He's got a tweaked back, I believe. Which, Phil, you and I both know at our age that's a pretty severe condition.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you on that one. Oh man, that Corvette just ate the wall right at the kink. That's not what you want to be doing. Eric Miller. Up Ray Hall straight and into the corkscrew. through turn 9 here. I bet in real life turn 9 is an absolute blast. I mean, the roller coaster, iconic. But the amount of speed that you can carry into turn 9, that's gotta feel good. It's gotta make you feel a little fuzzy inside.
So I presume 9 is the corner after corkscrew?
Yep, that is the long left-hander after corkscrew.
So, boy, do I have a story for you,
Mhm.
Mr. Whelpcakes. So I'm in the car, passenger, with my friend who has never been on the track before.
There's your GT.
I told you I saw one.
Yep, that is that wasn't Jace Wright. I didn't see who that was. Wasn't Jace though. Ooh. Little
Is it?
had to thread the needle there on corner exit there in the 24. I believe that was Jace Wright just now, and he's going in the pits. He's decided he's had enough. Chemosith had some really good times early on, but hasn't been able to capitalize here. Currently 13th in the 727. You were saying friend, fast car,
Yeah.
Laguna.
So we go through the corkscrew, and it's one of his earlier laps. Never been on a track day before. Rented spec Miata. And me having driven on track day, I'm a pretty good passenger. I'm very tolerant of people doing wrong things. But he was going into that corner way too fast. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize that your sense of speed in real life is a lot low, so things are a lot slower. The grip is a lot lower than when you're driving. And in sim, everything seems faster. In real life, everything seems slower, where the limits are. So he was driving to his sim racing mind, going much faster than what I knew the car was capable of, and just shot us off on the right side of the track while I'm going, slow down, slow down, slow down. No, 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 no. Oh, it was a bit of a moment, let's say.
See, that's the thing. That's the reason why I'm into the simulators. Like, I don't have to pay insurance on a simulator, so I'm good. For real. Looks like Wesley Avila goes to the top of the timesheets with a 22.869, making that 1/100th of a second, just a little more, and extends. Look at that. Finds like 4.5 tenths on top of Willis's time, and that's making a statement right there. And this Porsche, the 907, pulling off the side of the track, Travis Bartlett, currently sitting 21st. And for folks at home, if I get your name wrong, sincerest apologies. As a person whose name gets misspelled all the time, you have my sympathies. All right, where were we? We were taking a look at Jace Wright, currently sitting in 4th place. 2 tenths off the pace. Take a look. Let's get move that over here, and then let's move this one here. There we go. So now people can see their best time and compare.
Yeah, because I think the orange numbers are relative to the next car ahead. It's not an absolute, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah, it's impressive to see.
Yep.
The interval, oh my goodness, they are so small between each other. I mean, the difference between 10th all the way up to 4th is all of what, 2-3 tenths?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yep. That's a spread. That's a spread you want to see. That's a field right there that has got something figured out here. And we are ticking down, only 6 seconds left. Let's take a peek right now. It looks like the only folks that are like really high up on Delta. Let's go look at I think a newcomer. Glenn here. Is that Pineo?
Pineo
in the McLaren, headed up Ray Hall Straight. He was actually up almost a second, but I think he might have just invalidated. I might have just cast or cursed him. Not sure though. We're gonna see when he comes around the line. Colin Johnson also 7 tenths up on his previous. He
Oh,
invalidated. He's into the pits, and that is qualifying. I do believe there are still some flying laps. Colin Johnson being one of them, going through turn 9 right now. Shifts over to the left side of the track as he gets ready for turn 10, using that banking as much as he can. Takes the whole track, and then into the hairpin at turn 11. Probably could have had a wider corner entry. Pushes it out wide. Doesn't look invalid. Let's see where he ends up. Comes across line, jumps 2 spots to 24th. Good result for Colin. And I believe that is going to be it. Well, no, maybe we got... Nope, that's it. That is it. That is officially it. Qualifying in the books. We're going to wait for the results to pop up. Then we'll take a look at the grid order.
you know what I loved seeing in qualifying,
What's
Bill?
that?
Practicing their pit entries. Quite a few people doing that, and I think it's going to be a huge advantage in this race today, considering how tight the field is.
Yeah, I've started doing some sim racing again in ACC, and one of the things that I did like immediately was what I do is I just go out, I just basically set a pit stop for like no fuel, no tires, and just over and over again, going into the pits, coming out of the pits, going into the pits, going out of the pits. Because one of the things that I was convinced myself is I can be like, I'm really slow as it is, but the one thing that I can do for myself, the one thing I can do is I can, let me get the racing info out of the way. Sorry about that, folks. There we go. Results. All right. One thing I can do for myself is if I get a good pit stop, I can't complain about how much time I left on the table. And with that said, let's talk about who left time on the table in qualifying. Wesley Avila left nothing on the table with a 21.414 to take pole position over Josh Willis, who's going to line up alongside him 4/10 off the pace. Jacob Cunningham's going to start third alongside Jace Wright. Both of them still within a second. In fact, you're within a second all the way down to P9, which is kind of crazy. Eric Miller is going to be on third row next to Dakota Knapp. Eric Ing is going to be next to Kevin Boland. And then on fifth row of the grid, we've got Bronson Turner and Ray Frias. Let's see if we can move this down a little bit. Let's actually do a couple clicks. Whoa. There we go. What is that? Go ahead.
We're going to have fun with the 9th place, 11th place being so close. Commentating with Bronson Turner and Turner Johnson battling each other is quite the challenge.
Yep. Where was I? Sixth row of the grid, Turner Johnson, Sebastian Solis. Then we got Cody Wassam alongside Will Bruner. Let's take another peek.
Robert Brunner.
I mean, you can call him Robert. What is it? Chemo Sith. 15th alongside Benjamin Smalling. And then Michael Hickman is going to line up alongside Joel Bandera. Let's go a couple more clicks down. And I'm doing this all wrong, by the way. I'll tell you what I did wrong here in a minute. Glenn Pino? Pinio? Okay. Alongside Adam King. Sorry about that, Glenn. Travis Bartlett, 21st on the grid, and he's going to line up alongside Morgan Stringer. We've got, let's see here. Michael Manarino and Colin Johnson. I'm just going to scroll down here as much as I can. Oh, we're going green. I need to get over to the race. My bad, folks. Why is it not actually letting me go to the track? It says lap 1. Am I missing something here? There we go. Sorry about that, folks. Already missed turn 1. Real professional here, right? That said, let's take a look. Josh Willis did get a good jump out. Look at that. In the 2-2, in front of Jacob Cunningham. In second place currently, what is that? 6, 7/10 off the pace. Jace Wright, Eric Miller. Where is Avila?
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, he's blue flagged. He's down in 33rd. I wonder if there was something that happened at the start of the race. I'm going to go take a look real quick. Avila jumped to the pits. Interesting. Wonder what happened there. No Lookum Esports. What is that? Kevin Boland right now, currently sitting 7th. Although it looks like there's going to be an order swap because 6th place is gone. And then we've got Frias and Johnson. This is the fight you were talking about. It's going to be interesting to see where these guys line up. Currently on board with Glenn Pinio, and man, they are really bunched up. I don't know about you, but they are really bunched up out there. Look at that line of cars. Isn't that great? Willis with 23.3 or 25.3. Go ahead, sir.
What's awesome to me is that I don't know what happened to Wesley, but the rest of the grid has done such a fantastic job going through the first lap. That first corner is quite inviting of contact, so really amazing for everyone on the grid to be at such close pace and not have any incidents.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, because we missed this, is we're going to roll it back to the green flag, and I apologize about that, folks. For whatever reason, my buttons didn't actually carry me to the race start. So here we go, race start. Looks like Willis just gets a hell of a jump right at the beginning. And Wesley's kind of caught out. He's fallen back. And I believe that's going to be Jace Wright on the outside. And Wesley continuing through turn 2. Am I missing something? Like he is... looks like he's still on track. Oh, no, he's the Porsche.
Yeah, isn't the green car? I think that's Jacob Cunningham, the green car.
Yeah, that's Cunningham. Where did Wesley go, though? That's the part I don't understand. I didn't see him. He must have disappeared because it was Willis at the start. Didn't see Wesley anywhere on track. That is so wild. Yeah, not sure.
Wesley, come in chat. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, indeed.
Where are you?
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the race now. I am goofing up all my buttons. I did so much work to get these buttons set up, and I've got either one or two of them kind of like crossed in some sort of weird way where I'll hit it, and I expect it to go one place, but it goes another. Oh, we got a crash there in the back. Who was that?
Jace Wright falling down the grid here.
Oh, man, Jace Wright. Off track. That is not what you want to see. So Willis is off to a heck of a start, and he's going to... If he can hang on to this, this is going to be a good result. I think pit stops around here are going to be a big thing because traffic is a big deal. Right now, I would say if somebody was going to go for a mega undercut, you've got some really good opportunities if you go for a mega undercut. Because right now, if you take a look, there's a whole half of the track completely unoccupied. So I'm kind of curious, are we going to have any of these folks up here in the middle take an opportunity to maybe jump some spots? Oh, it's tight into turn 2. Prius in 8th position. We've got 2 My Little Pony Mustangs out there, and an M4 just gets a Mustang all turned around. Looks like maybe the M4 was the only one that went off track. And there's Joel Bandera in the 6.9 McLaren exiting turn 4 right now, right behind Chemo Sith as they go into turn 5. This is my nemesis. This corner right here is my nemesis. I lose so much time in turn 5, and the problem with losing time in turn 5 in particular, because you got the kink and Rahal straight, you never get it back. Like it feels like you just lose and lose and lose for the rest of the lap. Because I feel like this is a momentum track, right? Like if you lose momentum at any point during the lap, you just bleed time everywhere.
Yeah, it's for sure a tough one, and it's one that requires so much commitment because it does have pretty good amount of camber on the corner itself, so you almost have to trust it and send it in with good amount of pace.
Yeah.
Line being critical as well. Really, really riding all the way up out onto the curb to carry that momentum up the hill.
Indeed. I am looking around, folks, right now. I'm trying to find what we've got in terms of battles that are close right now. Let's go take a look at Glenn. Glenn seems like he's in a pretty close battle with the 9-7 of Michael Hickman. They're going back and forth into turn 2, into turn 3, swapping spots. And in the background, Colin Johnson is just waiting to see what these two end up doing if they end up getting tangled. Hello,
Yeah,
Fred.
not just the tangling, Phil, but also just, anytime two cars are battling, the car behind is at an advantage, right? They're just taking inopportune lines and being side by side, having to slow down. So that's something that cars behind love seeing is cars battling ahead. It's always an opportunity. Even if there's no contact, they're definitely slowing down and giving
Indeed.
time to the cars behind.
Yeah, on board with Colin Johnson right now as he's pacing down Glenn in the McLaren. Does look like Hickman able to start to pull away now down the start-finish straightaway in the wonderful Corvette. I am a big fan of this car, but I feel like we're spoiled for choice in GT3, especially right now. I feel like we've got so many good cars out there. Mustang being out here and competitive, that's kind of a wonderful thing. I'm kind of actually surprised. What are your thoughts on them adding in the NSX? I mean, it's a car that's pretty long in the tooth. What was I can do some looking real quick to find out what was the last year the NSX GT3 was produced. It says it's homologated until 2019 or 2029. Excuse me. Interesting.
Yeah,
if they keep updating it, it's great. If they keep updating it, then go for it.
I've heard rumblings in Discord of their just a general community going, well, why would they do that? It's an old car. Sure, why not? Add some flavor, some more flavor to the grid. Obviously, some of the guys are using it.
Yeah, looks competitive too. Like we had Wesley that was or not Wesley. We had what is it? Cunningham tearing up with it. Like it looks like it's a pretty good platform. We're on board right now with Morgan Stringer. He's in a Maka and he's chasing down Travis Bartlett in that 907 Porsche. There's like less than a half second between them right now as they go through turn 4 and on into turn 5. With the format, the way that you guys are doing it, the 1 hour races, how do you feel about adapting the 1 hour format that you're used to having with ACC, but then bringing it over to iRacing? Do you feel like it's made a good transition? Do you feel like people are still interested in it, or do you feel like the 1 hour sprint race is kind of like everybody does it? What are your thoughts on it?
So actually, I don't know whether it's being implemented in this race, because we've had some technical issues from the iRacing side last week. There is a random safety car that's being deployed in this championship.
Interesting.
Nobody knows when it is, and how long it's out for.
Yeah.
It's set up, and that's the thing we love doing at Trackalicious, right? It's like, you get 101 leagues that do the 60-minute go, fastest guy wins, whatever, and it gets pretty monotonous. I love mixing up the grid, whatever way it is, and we have multiple tools that we've used in the past to do that. Whether it's pit stops itself, pit stops can be something that kind of shake the grid up. whether it's the random safety car that is lovely to have access to in iRacing, which we don't have in ACC, right? Just these kind of things to shake things up and make it entertaining to watch. It's just, fast people are fast, and more
Yeah.
often than not, they're almost fast in every single track and faster than everyone else, and it kind of gets boring, to be honest. So it's
Yeah.
nice to get this shake up, nice to get this variation, and really get these guys to think about what they're doing, and give them an additional dimension of racing to worry about.
Indeed. I mean, I love the variety that you can have access to in the different simulators. I think, um, I don't know, man. I just like, for me, I really do love pit strategy. I think that's probably the best one to really go around and mix things up. I know a number of sims don't necessarily give us the opportunity to be able to like adjust mandatory fuel loads, that kind of stuff. That'd be kind of an interesting addition, but yeah, the way that they handle the pit stops in the simulator, I feel like provides us the greatest level of strategy. With iRacing adding rain and having wet, dry compound tires, that also adds in another nice little bit of flavor to the game. While we were talking, it looks like let me see here. Turner Johnson did find his way around Ray Frias, and he's got his sights set now on Eric Ing, who is 3 seconds up the road. So he's going to have to really put his foot down to try and catch up. Last lap from Turner was a 24.3. Eric and the crew above are running low 23s and higher right now. So he's really going to have to find some pace if he's going to try and take the fight up to P6 or higher. Taking a look at the field, does look like Cody Wassam in the 188, sandwiched between two M4s. He's trying to chase down Randy Gross and trying to hold station over Sebastian Solis. So Cody's got his hands full right now.
Yeah, frankly, I'm quite surprised Cody isn't much higher up in the grid. Not typical. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Cody be anywhere farther than top 5 in all of the races that we've had so far. So really, really surprising. And as it was one of the names that I called out earlier in one of my hopefuls for the win.
Well, there's still plenty of race left. We're only 13 minutes into a 1 hour race. It's going to be very interesting to see if anybody pulls any kind of like pit strategy maneuvers to see if they can jump someone. I actually, now that I think about it, I think I made another boneheaded maneuver. I don't know if I actually read through the rules. Are you guys doing a mandatory pit?
Well, you have to, right? There isn't enough fuel to run the full 60 minutes.
Okay. That makes sense.
And so I finally got the timing charts up here, and I am seeing something incredibly interesting in that we have Wesley Avila in 26th place chasing down Jacob Magnowski.
Yep. And he is moving pretty quick. Like last lap from Avila was a 25.0, which is kind of slow. But, I mean, he is moving through traffic right now. But his best lap so far since coming out of the pits, already up to 26th in the overall from what my data says. And he's running, his fastest has been a 22.5 moving through traffic. So he is going to be moving pretty quick. Sebastian Solis looks like he might be out of the race. I don't see him on the track anymore. Or no, now I do. Is that him? Oh, no. Actually. Yeah, I don't see him clocking time. I think he might have dropped. That might have been a disconnect or something else might have happened. Checking in real quick with Mr. Robert Bruner in the 9.8. Probably going to throw a lot of shade at me in chat. Calling him Robert. Am I missing something here? I am losing all kinds of connection right now. There we go. Oh, and just in time for there to be a bit of a spin. Robert Bruner in one of the My Little Pony Mustangs involved in that. Was that Adam King? No, it wasn't Adam King. That would have been Frias.
So
turned.
Well,
Yes,
Will
sir.
Robert is back from the 949 days, isn't he?
Oh, Robert Bruner? Yeah. Yeah, he raced with us at 949. Also, kind of my first meeting with Will was he was racing with us in 949, and they were getting some stuff off the ground, doing some sprint races with the Online Racing Association, or which is like one of the older um, communities. I mean, they've been racing Forza as long as Forza's been available to race on the internet. So yeah, that's my first meetings with Will. Pretty quick dude. Also racing with him in the New World Sim Racing Pint Series. Pretty quick there too. Currently doing some work in silver. Let's take a look. Who else do we have out here pulling some good laps right now? Joel Bandera in the 6.9. One of the vets goes off track. I believe that was Hickman. Interesting. Or no, that was Colin Johnson. There we go. Colin Johnson off at the Corkscrew in the 23. And that's going to give Bandera a shot a little bit higher up into P14. So one of the things that I expect to see, Eric, even with this many cars on track, Laguna has a way of sorting the order. And what I mean by that is as we get further and further into this race, this distribution of cars is going to get more and more even across all of the track map. And then once that happens, it's really going to come down, I think, to strategy. It's kind of an interesting thing because it's a short lap, a really short lap, Laguna. But I don't know. It just has a way of doing things this way. I think it's because of its technical nature and the fact that off tracks are punishing. But that's my take. I was going to ask, you're doing this series on Thursdays. What other stuff does Trackalicious have going on right now in the winter months?
Yeah, great question, Phil. So we are running our GT4 Rookie Series on Mondays at 8 o'clock Eastern. We're running our GT4 Open Series, of which a lot of the rookies jump into as well. It's great to see on Monday, 9:30 Eastern. We sometimes run fun races on Tuesdays because it's the one day that we have open. So it could be iRacing or some LMU stuff we do as well. I think we're looking at doing some less serious things, if you like. We're talking about it in the background, but that's some stuff to come there. On Wednesdays, we do our West Coast time zone focused races at 11 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. Western. That's an ACC GT3 championship. On Thursdays, we have the iRacing. On Fridays, we have LMU. And then finally, on Sundays, we have the ACC Pro to Pavement GT3 Championship, Phil, where we have the winner of the championship will be awarded with a free track day, with a car, and $500 in travel expense.
That's pretty awesome. So that series in particular, what is it looking like in terms of participation? You guys have to be having people like come out of the woodwork to get an opportunity to get a free track day.
You would think so, but unfortunately, it's not as popular as one would hope. What tends to happen in the hyper competitive events is as soon as, let's say, there are all these A tier drivers, and then there's the A plus tier drivers. As soon as one S tier driver shows, quite a few of the rest of them drop out.
That's so interesting because the thing is that, like, why would you do that? Like, if you've got pace, you may not be the fastest guy in the league, but the fastest guy in the league is going to make mistakes. And you want to be there to capitalize. I mean, I'll give you an example. You remember Sakame, right?
Yep.
Sakame won the first season of 949 sim racing. He was our first winner. He won one race the whole season. He won one race. So for me, it's like, you know, just show up, pay your dues, carve the track, get the points, go home, keep your head down, do your work, and then, things will pan out. Especially in these ultra sweaty leagues where people are like really quick relative to one another. It's like, at that point, if it's an even playing field, that's the one you want to stay in, right? But yeah, anyway. I don't know. I thought people would be like clamoring to get a free track day. I'm not going to clamor to get a free track day because I'm the last person you need to put in a real car and tell to like, okay, now you're going to learn how to race, go drive and try and get up to the limit and be like, yeah, that's a funny story. And maybe somebody else will buy that ride, but that's not me because, I don't want to die. So
I actually I love that you're saying that because I think track days do have an intimidation about them,
Mhm.
but in reality, it is probably the safest environment you could do something. And when you go out to a track day, unlike in sim racing where you're just freaking send it and there's no consequences of going into a wall, because of the real life consequences, you tend to drive a little bit more,
Yeah.
conservatively.
Yeah.
And
There's
we
stakes.
put yeah, we put great amount of effort into being super welcoming and informative
Yeah.
and accommodating for brand new drivers to the track, and it works. It's amazing. I mean, there are so many almost every single track day that I've ever done has, and that's 10 years of track days, has had someone who's never been on the track before, and by the end of it, I think out of the 10 years, I've only heard of one person go, "You know what? I enjoyed it, but this just is not for me. It was too much and too it's a sensory overlord, whereas the rest of the people are like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
this is going to be an addiction, it's going to be a problem. And that we talked about areas of the track where you could be a little bit more adventurous, talked about areas of the track that are riskier and that they should really put margin to the limit of what they're capable of until they learn. And we have quite a few people with experience who will go out with a driver and coach and let them come, like, the Tracklicious Miata, for example. Your main purpose of that car is for me to be able to go out, show people lines, show people what it feels like, right? As we spoke about earlier, sense of speed in sim racing is quite a bit different than it is in real life. So we do put extensive amount of effort into making anybody that's out there as comfortable as possible.
Well, now, is that the safety car you were talking about?
Oh, yes, sir, it is.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We got the safety car deployed. One Bigly in chat said that's such a cool prize. And I do think it is a cool prize. And to let it be known for the folks at home, the reason why I don't do that is because, honestly, I'm a scaredy cat. I'll admit it. I'm a big scaredy cat. I'm a big scaredy cat who's paranoid. Um, but uh, um, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting now with people peeling off the pits. Josh is gonna actually stay out, so Cunningham's going in. We got a whole conga line of people going in. Kind of curious how many
Oh,
people are gonna mess up that pit entry, and boy howdy, did it look spicy there for a second. It's
oh
like
my
Avila
goodness.
is gonna go in there. So interesting.
Is that the right call for Josh?
For Josh to stay out, man, I don't know. I don't know. I've
That
never done. I'm trying to remember if we did a safety car race at Laguna or not, with track limits. I can't remember, but it's interesting. That's All right. I think we're back now. If somebody would give me a thumbs up in chat if we're back, that'd be cool. Oh, there. Yeah, I can see it now.
Yep, we're back live.
So I don't know what happened there, folks. Sorry about that. Lots of technical gremlins this stream. Well, I say technical gremlins. A couple of like missing the start of the race. That's on me. I had a misconfiguration, but having some technical gremlins. Very sorry about that. But we're back. Safety car is still rolling around on track with the race leader Josh Willis, currently leading the field. Let's go take a look back at Mr. Jacob Cunningham. Mr. Jacob Cunningham right now. Cars seem to be lining up. Looks like maybe we're going to get ready to go green or something. I'm not entirely sure what's happening because positions are kind of all over the place. But with Mr. Cunningham in 8th, here's the thing to think about. Jacob Cunningham had only 58 seconds for a total pit lane travel time, 58.83 to be exact. That is an amazing pit stop relative to the rest of the cars around him. We've got a 1:03 from Bandera. We've got a 1:01 from Knapp. We've got a 1:01 from Boland. But Jacob Cunningham coming in, nailing his marks, 58.83, fastest pit stop travel time by far. Now, when he's actually on the jacks, it's very comparable to everyone else, about 16 seconds, 17 seconds, somewhere in there. But again, saving that time on pit lane travel, that means he hit his mark on pit entry. It means he hit his mark on pit exit. It's going to be very interesting to see if he can take that advantage and continue to close the gap to Joshua Willis.
Yeah, we talked about it. Practice your pit stops.
It's
clearly worth 2 seconds plus.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's trying to find 2 seconds. I mean, it's just, I don't think people realize how much time it would take you to get faster, 2 seconds faster over the course of a race, right? And it's just so much sweat and so much effort, whereas probably in a matter of 2, 3, 4 pit stops, 15 minutes worth of work, you could get 2+ seconds. Yeah. As we see the safety car dive back into the pits and we relaunch this race here soon.
So Cody making out like a bandit after those pit stops, currently in 3rd behind Frias as we get to the restart. Josh Willis gets away and everything's looking clean and collected. Let's jump back to Travis Bartlett. Travis Bartlett had a bit of a moment before we went on to the pit stops. Got turned around at the hairpin, rejoined in front of some cars, and everybody made it out alive, but definitely there were a few bumps and bruises for sure. But now we're back to racing, and Bartlett right now trying to catch Cody Wassum through turn 5. I'll pull up the pit lane travel time on screen for you there, Eric, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. You take a look at Cunningham, you take a look at Bandera, although for whatever reason they've got Bandera listed with 63 seconds as being relatively quick. But I think what it is that the white is the actual like total time in lane, and then the blue is representative of time sitting stationary. And because everybody else's times are so far over a minute, you don't even get to see their blue relative to Cunningham and Bandera and Boland. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting.
Well, the top 4 or 5 did not pit, right? That's where we have the Willis, Frias, Wassum, Bartlett, Dallas.
Yep. And that, I think, is going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because I'm just kind of curious with the safety car being what it is around here. The only thing I can think of is that is Joshua doing some, like, if pit stop's not mandatory, is Joshua doing some, like, mad fuel save? Is that possible? I don't know.
I'm not sure. But even if he does some fuel save, that's not... I mean, the Cunningham was the one challenging him, right? And he's only, what, a couple of seconds behind?
Yeah. Oh,
that's going to be tough to hold back if he's doing a fuel save strategy.
Yeah. Lock my stuff. So yeah, Cunningham right now currently behind Dallas, back up to 6th place, and looks like he might be able to dispatch Dallas pretty quick. He's all over the back end of the Corvette. So with Cunningham moving through the field at a pretty quick rate, we've also got Johnson over here, 2/10 back from Bandera. Bandera, another one of those that had a really good pit stop relative to the rest of the field. And there goes Dallas with a wide exit out of the hairpin. Let's get on board with Cunningham, shall we, and see what it looks like going into turn 2. There's the dive into the Andretti hairpin. He's holding that inside line, keeping it very tight to the left, kind of what you want to see from the Andretti hairpin. It looks like he's got the move pretty much done. So Cunningham dispatches Dallas, and now Bartlett is the next car up the road. Last lap for Cunningham was a 22.3. Bartlett at a 23.0. Wasson putting in some pretty good laps with a 22.7. But, man, Willis up there at the top, 22.2. The only other person that I can think of that's been pulling kind of quick laps like that right now is this man right here. And that's Wesley Avila as he goes into the kink right now behind the 909 of Rick Wolf up Ray Hall Straight, flashing his lights, I guess letting Rick know that he's got intentions. And Rick goes wide, and Avila is going to find his way around. Right behind him, we got Glenn Pineo, and he is going through turn 9, setting up for turn 10. Gets around Rick as well.
Yeah, every time I walk into a room where my wife is, I do flick the lights on and off to let her know I have intentions as well.
Oh, nice. Let's take a look. Oh man, this battle. Cunningham is already, like, he's got around Bartlett. We saw Dallas is no longer in the mix. He's in the pits. Kind of curious what's happening now. But yeah, Cunningham, 27, now up to 4th spot, 3.6 seconds back from Cody Wasson. So he's got a little bit of traveling to do before he can catch up to the back of the Mustang. Let's check in with another close fight on track, Mr. Adam King, who gets turned into turn 5. What was that? We should go and see if we can find out what happened there. I'm not sure how far the replay will take me back. But let's give it a shot and see what happens. Oh, he didn't get touched. He just lost it on his own. Into the sand for Adam King.
Oh, that's tough.
Gonna have to do a little bit of recovery. Probably restart cold tires. That is a thing. Take a look now. Who else do we have? Colin Johnson in the 23. And there's Avila, already up to 13th. This man is flying. Last lap from Avila is going to come in 22.527. Now 23.20. Looks like we've got one of the McLarens off. I don't know if he's going to get nailed with a black flag for that, for to cross that pit road. I guess we'll see. And this is a bit of a train. Will Bruner has a conga line behind him right now.
Bill, where do we think that Avila is going to end up by the end of the race? Think a top 5 is in it for him?
I think a top 5 is possible. I mean, he's lapping faster than Bartlett. So I think it's really about clearing this traffic out, keeping his nose clean. It's going to be. It's tough to do. I mean, you can do everything right and have someone else's race go wrong in front of you. That's it. But we're going to have to wait and see. In the meantime, Jace Wright in the 24, the Florida native, going through turn 10, chasing down Will Bruner, gets a little bit of the dirt on corner exit. Is Avila going in the pits again? I'm not sure what happened there. Hopefully that's not like a drive-through or anything like that. Not sure. Jace Wright just hanging with Will Bruner right now, and that bunched up field behind Will Bruner has started to calm down a little bit. Man, dude, can you believe that Josh has done a 22-0 in race trim? That is nuts. Josh is driving like a man possessed.
That tweaked back must be giving him superpowers.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Josh picks her. It didn't happen. Dakota Knapp. He's not far behind Adam King. Going through the kink right now. Up Ray Hall straight. Let's see if we can ride on board with him as he gets ready to go into the corkscrew. Behind the number 2 on the brakes. Ooh, probably broke a little earlier than Knapp was expecting. Back in, steps out, and I think that is going to give Dakota an opportunity on the inside out of turn 9. Now, he's set up into turn 10. The banking is going to make Slime pinch, but it just looks like King was able to carry more speed into turn 10. And Dakota Knapp's going to have to reset and see what he can do on the next go-round. While we were looking away, though, Chase Wright did clear Will, so Will's going to try and hang on to the back of him and see if he can continue to harass Jace. They still have 22 minutes and change left in round number 4. By the way, thanks to everybody who have joined us for this race tonight. It's my first race back doing streaming in the booth. Actually, first race since I did the reinstall. And admittedly, some technical bumps, but it's been a blast, Eric, and thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Yeah, we'll greatly appreciate you supporting us. If I didn't already tell you, I've had some challenges with iRacing running on my PC. Seems to be CPU limited. Hopefully heard one of the members of the community having a slightly moderately better CPU that shipping over my way. So hopefully by next week I can be up and running again, but we'll see what happens. Lots of ifs, lots of maybes. For now, greatly appreciative of running this fantastic race that we have at Laguna Seca.
I mean, fantastic in that we still have such a large field of people still on track. Laguna is known for attrition, but I believe, I think we still have 25 still on track. Again, attrition is horrible around Laguna. Doesn't matter if you're running 20 cars. It doesn't matter if you're running 50 cars. But yeah, and it does look like the sorting effect has already started to take hold. We do still have a pretty significant amount of track that has no cars on it right now. But the thing that I'm noticing, we do not have that many fights that are within a half second of one another. Josh Willis pulling into the pits right now. Where is Jacob Cunningham in the mix? Jacob Cunningham getting ready to exit the final corner, and Willis is still out on track, or excuse me, in the pits. Hasn't even made it to a stall yet, from what I understand.
I'm so curious to know whether the pitters are going to need to pit again. I can't imagine Josh having miscalculated. I'm pretty sure he got caught out earlier in the season where he did something similar, but it's just kind of wild to me. I don't know how long the fuel tanks last here. More so even in iRacing. I know, at the ACC we're looking at 60 to 70 to 75, maybe 80 minutes for the Ferrari, which is incredibly great on fuel. So in this particular race, I'm not sure if they've been fuel limited or what it is that forces the pit stop and the length. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Josh knows something we don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to find out. But he's going to come out, believe it or not. Looks like he came out right in front of Wesley Avila. Cody Wassam is going to inherit the lead of this race with Jacob Cunningham in second, Kevin Boland in third. It is going to be interesting to see how this race takes up. Do you have a battle right now between Benjamin Smalling and Glenn Pineo? Chemosith, not that far away, 1.3 seconds. If things kind of get hairy between these two, Chemosith might be able to um, pull up and might be able to get two for the price of one.
I've raced with Chemo before.
Yeah.
Kajtazovic, really good, really fun, very clean. Streams, for those of you who don't know.
Yep.
He's probably live right now. And if you're looking for a first-person view, let's see if we can give him a shot real quick.
So Benjamin Smalling right now really lingering in the background. Glenn's got his hands full. Taking a look further up the order, Kevin Boland in the lead of this race, or not in the lead of this race, but with Cunningham in the lead of this race now, and Boland now in the background. Where did Awesome go? Cody is Bannon? Oh no, he's down in 16th now behind Ray Frias. Looks like he has not taken a pit. I wonder if he just like might have gotten a D or something. Is he? I see him enter the pits and then leave the pits.
Yeah, I just checked. Chemo's not quite live right now. Must be focusing on the race. But ooh, I have a car spun around.
Do you now? Yeah, I do see Jace Wright went off track, as well as Wesley Avila. Will Bruner now up in third after this most recent grouping. Have taken like pit lane travels. See, the thing is, Cody's only got one pit to his name. Like, is he just dealing with a drive-through? I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I look at his off tracks and he's only got 4, so I'm not sure.
What are the off-track rules in iRacing, Bill?
It depends. I mean, normally for a race like this, you'd probably be looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of like 15 off tracks before you get hit with a DT.
Okay.
And then I think, man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've done a lobby race. So I'm probably speaking incorrectly. So if anybody in chat knows, feel free to correct me on that. Dakota Knapp now in 8th place, chasing down Chemosith.
I think we saw Knapp pretty high up in the field earlier, so I suspect that Dakota has quite a bit of pace over Chemo. So Chemo's going to have to do some incredible work to try and keep Dakota behind in that really cool livery Corvette just behind.
Indeed, I am seeing some blinking from Chemosith on my end. That doesn't necessarily mean he's blinking relative to Dakota, but at least on my end, does look like Chemosith has a little bit of connection latency, at least to me, while I'm streaming. We've got Glenn right now currently running in 5th. This is a good result for Glenn. If he can pull it up, he would be plus 14 on the day. Trying to run away from Benjamin Smalling and Colin Johnson up in 4th. Man, we've got some real movers and shakers. Colin would be plus 20 if he finishes in 4th right now.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Yeah, Jacob Cunningham now in the lead of the race. We'll have to wait and see towards the end, Phil. Either he is a genius and ducked into the pits at the perfect time with the safety car, or Josh is an evil genius, a super mega mind, and just knew that it wasn't the right time and waited it out. And all these guys are gonna have to pit again, and Josh's gonna look like a hero.
So the one thing I will say about Josh's pit time is pretty interesting. He had a really fast pit stop, 57 seconds for the full travel time, 16 seconds up on the jacks. That's what he gets for going really like late in the race, getting that splash of fuel. What I suspect may have happened, I wonder if he was like filled up for like a long race distance and then the safety car popped, caught him by surprise. Not sure where he fell in terms of the control line, but once he was like past the control line, why not pit the next lap? I'm kind of curious. I mean, to be perfectly honest, that's lose-lose. It's just, you also then have more laps to like make that ground back up. Not entirely sure. I'm sure we'll hear about it in chat.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully they'll pop in for some interviews after, presuming they're high enough to be on the top 3 on the podium. We got a good conversation with them, really find out some of the details that we're asking.
You're gonna make me do interviews with people? I gotta ask them questions? That's easy. That's easy. I can ask questions. I'll be like, okay, so what's your favorite color? But that's it. That'll be awesome at the end of the race if we can do that. I think that'll be a lot of fun. We're on board with Josh Willis as he's in 12th now, and he's chasing down, I believe that is King. Yep, in the number 2 Ford Mustang. Currently trying to regain some ground, and our first 21 of the race, 21.7, Wesley Avila in the 222. Currently 13th, 1.9 seconds back from Willis. Taking a look around. Go ahead.
These guys know something we don't know. It's just weird to me to have Josh and Wesley both in the same spot trying to figure things out with the others up ahead. I don't know. I'm very suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. I love it when there's these kinds of surprises. Like, I love it. It's great. Can I Discord share? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. After I did the restarted OBS, I forgot to go back to live. So let me get that pulled up for you, sir. Hopefully you can see again.
Yep.
And Chemo Sith continuing to mount a solid defense, although Knapp did find his way around, and now he's got actually Eric Miller now chomping at the bit in the Bugs Bunny Corvette.
Yeah, Eric Miller, he doesn't race as often as he used to. He's been super busy over the past couple of years, but somehow he always manages to find some pace. Pops into the car, and he's just got it. He's just got a lot of... I think he used to race when he was younger, race go-karts and stuff, so... he's got a pretty good feel for things, I was going to say, as he was looking at the rear end of that Darth Vader Porsche.
Yep, and manages to get around Chemo Sith up into now 8th place, with Hickman now starting to harass Chemo. Another fight, this is not necessarily as tight as the one we were just watching, but I did want to highlight it real quick, is it does look like Will Bruner has found his way around Boland up into 2nd place now, and looks like he is going to be growing that gap to Boland in the 149. Last lap for both of them was relatively very close, so that tells me that I think Boland was kind of like slowing Bruner down a little bit. We're going to get a better pace reference when Bruner comes across the line. And let's see what we got here. A 23.09 to a 23.91. Yeah, Bruner has got almost a second on Boland, at least with the last lap comparison. So I expect to see Bruner, if he can continue to keep this pace, start to grow that gap a little bit. Avila, jump back to Avila. He is up there with Willis now, and looks like we have a nice little scrap on our hands. So with the race, we're in the final 10 minutes. Eric, what are your thoughts so far on the race? Are you still thinking that these two have got like some sort of like trick up their sleeve that we don't know about?
Either they're really smart or really not smart, right? So they either made the best possible move and there's some magic strategy that they know of, or they made the worst possible move with Josh dropping from 1st all the way down to 11th place, even outside of the top 10. So either Josh is going to be sitting victorious on the top step, assuming Wesley doesn't regain that top spot, right?
Mhm.
Regain the effective like alt strategy, let's call him, right? The alt strategy
Yeah,
cars here. Or he's gonna be kicking himself in the butt, going, nah, I should have just pit when everybody else pit and just
yeah,
did the bad thing and should have done the less bad thing.
yeah.
So we'll have to see. Well, we got 9 minutes left, and I'm literally on the edge of my seat, very curious to know what's gonna happen.
Indeed, me too. Me too. I am looking right now. I just wanted to take a peek. Those intervals are getting pretty tight. It looks like we got one of the AMGs off track in front. Josh is flashing to try and get around. Doesn't really want to be held up by a back marker. He can't. And 522 jumps out of the way, and we're back to racing. Let's look down the order because we got to have some stuff going on back here. Take a peek. We do have some more people pulling into the pits. Man, it looks like
That-
the attrition has just been brutal. That track has definitely lost a number of cars. Uh,
And we do have a bit of a battle brewing between Benjamin Smalling and Eric Miller in seventh and eighth,
that's a good point.
respectively.
Let's get a gearbox shot from Smalling's perspective. As you get a look at that Jack Daniels logo on the hood of that Corvette, looking rather pointy. Oh, man.
Very, very close.
Yep, very close racing. Very close racing. Good stuff. Good stuff as we come out of the hairpin through the kink at turn 1 into the Andretti hairpin.
Looking at their last laps, looks like Eric Miller has 4/10 in hand. Sorry, that was the best laps. 3/10 in hand from the last lap uh, against Benjamin Smalling. So he's got the pace, and he's gonna. Ooh, this is gonna be a challenge for Smalling with Glenn Pinio up there. Pinio another 4/10 slower than them two. So this is gonna be a bit of a situation. It's not a lapped car. This is for position.
Yeah.
But Pinio in with 13 places ahead from the start is looking quite threatened at this point with the two cars just behind. And McLaren, no machinery advantage between himself and Benjamin. But ooh, Eric Miller really ambitious and going for some hard moves with that Corvette, with the Smalling having to put immense defensive positions against him and giving Pinio a bit of breathing room. Like we said, battling cars are slower than non-battling cars typically, so that's going to be a sight that Pinio's super excited to see.
Indeed, man. They are really keeping it close and tight in the battle for 7th and 8th. And we've got another tight battle behind. Chemosith, Hickman, that keeps seesawing between those two. And you can see them in the background right there. They're racing side by side out of turn 2 into turn 3. Let's jump back and see how that battle continues on. Looks like Chemo is going to keep the advantage over Hickman on the exit of turn 4, getting ready to line up on turn 5. The Corvette moves to the inside. Chemosith vanishes, and boy, was my heart in my throat right there.
Wesley just dropped out. Something happened.
Oh, Wesley just dropped out. I wonder if that's what happened at the start of the race, right? Like, he was not on the grid at the start. That was wild. Also talking about wild, Will Bruner has dropped behind Boland. I'm kind of curious what happened there. And it also looks like Colin Johnson has showed up to the party. I'm really kind of curious what happened here. Bruner was doing really well relative to the field, getting all the way up into second place, but now seems to be in a bit of a three-way fight for P2.
Yeah, it's super exciting. With Kevin up 6 places, Brunner up 11, Johnson up 20 places.
Yeah.
And, you would think that there's a bit of a spread in terms of pace between these drivers. But as we saw in the start of in qualifying, like the deltas were just so small that whether you're 4th or 10th, the pace is so similar that racecraft becomes a real contributor to what's going on here right now.
So Bruner gets the advantage on Bolin as they're going up towards the kink, and now they're racing up to the corkscrew. And you can see we're still, from Johnson's perspective, looking at those sector times. Let's actually take a look now at the lap history. I'm kind of curious relative to the field what we're looking at between Bolin and Johnson. So Johnson currently running. I don't know why that's still showing. Let me get those out of the way. It does look like Boland is losing. Oh, and Bruner spins. Was that contact? Let's see if we can jump out real quick and see what happened there. That looks like that was pretty wild. Getting ready to go into turn 10. Oh, he catches the inside curb. Sausage curb just like launches him into the air, and he's back on track now. But I think he's going to lose another spot relative to Dakota Knapp, and that is going to be heartbreaking for Bruner.
Yeah, that was a potential podium position for him.
Was
what a sad event with only 3 minutes left in the race that he's going to be kicking himself about that one for sure.
Yeah. I gotta wonder if it was like pushing. I wonder if the tires left him. I'm not sure, but right now we are with the closest fight on track right now, which is between Colin Johnson and Kevin Bolin. This right here is for P2, and they are racing like it is for a championship finish. Yeah, these two are pretty close, although Jace Wright is actually catching up to Josh Willis now. So yeah, Willis still down in 10th, man. I'm really going to be kind of curious in chat if we get anything from Josh to kind of let us know kind of like what happened. But Cunningham looks like he is in the catbird seat, as they say where I'm from. He is 14 seconds ahead of Bolin.
Yeah, Kevin Kevin doing his best, but Cunningham just flying out there.
Yeah,
in a world of his own. And yeah, hi, old man Joey. It is Mr. Whelpcakes, the legend himself, coming to help us out with some iRacing streaming.
Yes, I'm here to watch this wonderful race around Laguna Seca alongside Mr. Eric Kirkosian, as we've got an hour about to end here at Laguna Seca, and this race has kind of had a little bit of everything. We've had ups, we've had downs, we've seen spins, we've seen some interesting strategy calls, and we're closing it out. I believe when Cunningham comes across the line, we're going to have white flag conditions. But right now we're staying on board because we've only got we got 3 fights on track that are really worth focusing in on. And it does look like Jace Wright does find his way around Josh Willis, and Willis drops down into P11. And Jace Wright is actually pulling away pretty quick. I wonder if there might have been a bit of an off track. But now Eric Miller really close to Hickman. So that battle between Hickman and Chemo Sith opened up, and now it's like Eric Miller trying to find his way up into P8. Let's take a look at that battle real quick. I am seeing pit stops. You're kidding me. I'm seeing pit stops. There are people that are going in. What has happened? What is happening?
It must be fuel. It must be, right? It can't be anything else. We gotta keep an eye out on Cunningham here. When we see Colin Johnson, Kevin Bolin still battling, and further down, Glenn Pinio being threatened by Turner Johnson, a previous race winner here, down in the 11th and 12th position. Oh, goodness. Looks like we had another dropout of Eric Miller. Must have had contact somewhere, unfortunately. But what is Jacob Cunningham going to do? It is now full time in the race. Is he going to be able to complete it and take that race win?
Looks like he's set up for it. Comes around the final corner and just takes the 27 NSX, flashing his headlights as he does it. Pulls off 1 hour at Laguna. Mr. Cunningham in the 2.7. Big result for him. Let's go find Mr. Bolin now as he's getting ready to come out of the hairpin, and he's dragging Mr. Colin Johnson behind him for your podium finishers. Kevin Bolin in the 149 and Colin Johnson in the 23 taking the final podium spots. Dakota Knapp's going to finish in 4th. Will Bruner's going to settle for 5th. Benjamin Smalling comes across the line in 6th. Then we've got Chemo Sith, Jace Wright, Joshua Willis coming across in 9th. Going to be interested to hear what happened with the strategy call. Cody Wasserman 10th. Ray Frias 11th. Glenn Penio in 12th. Turner Johnson getting ready to come across the line in front of Travis Bartlett, who is going to just now exit turn 9. And then I believe we'll have Rick Wolf, Joel Bandera, and Jeff Dallas 15, 16, 17 respectively. But your race winner right there in the 2.7 NSX, Jacob Cunningham. Eric?
Unbelievable.
That was a finish. That was a finish.
Unbelievable performance. Yeah. I mean, as we said, either they're geniuses or they're ungeniuses, and I think they turned out to be ungeniuses this time around. But Jacob Cunningham running the perfect race, the perfect strategy, a great pit stop at that, and yeah, taking the win.
Yeah, he's got
commandingly at that.
He's got to be very happy with that result. That's going to be a good haul of points for him as well. I'm going to be interested to see what the standings look like when we get towards the end of the season. Speaking of seasons, while we're getting ready for people to just join us up here for a quick chat, we are headed in round number 5 to the Mount Panorama Bathurst, as it's also known. That's going to be a wild race, man. GT3s. We're actually right on the heels of the 12 hours of Bathurst in IRL, and February 13th at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You're going to want to check out round 5 for 1 hour around Bathurst. Get the results screen up.
Yeah, let's see if we get, we do have Jacob Cunningham. Jacob Cunningham in here, the race winner. Jacob, congratulations. Fantastic race. How was that? Tell us first about the strategy. Why did you jump in when others stayed out?
Math. I know you hated it during school. We all did. But the numbers told me once we got 22 minutes into the race, I could make it to the end. And that's when the safety car came out.
Oh, so it was a bit of luck there, right? So you were kind of like in a situation where you kind of had planned for how the race could unfold. Now, were you like overfueled when you went in after the safety car? How what was the fuel difference in the pit stop?
Because of the pit stop, if it would have been just green to the end at that point, it would have been pretty close.
Yeah.
But because of all the laps under safety car, I ended up plus 4 laps.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I get it. So that was a really good strategy call on your part. But the thing also that I kind of want to highlight there is you had consistency and you had like really good pace. Take us through kind of like how the whole race kind of like unfolded for you. What were some of the bigger high notes for that race for you?
Well, the first part of it was just trying not to fight Josh when he was leading. Just focus on plugging away lap times, trying to build that gap to 3rd place, just in case a pit stop gap opened up for me. And it just ended up working up with the safety car coming out when I needed it.
That's amazing. I mean, again, it's a testament to consistency, and you put in the work and you did the math, and this time your math was mathin'. So it worked out really well in your favor. Eric, you got anything else you want to ask Jacob?
No, just fantastic performance, Jacob, as expected. I think you were on my list of potential winners here for today, and you pulled it off. Fantastic race.
Thank you. That's my first win since Tracklicious went to GT3 racing. I'm proud of that one.
That's good. Good. Laguna's a tough track too. You get a win here, it means something.
It is a driver's track, that's for sure.
Yeah. It looks like we've also got Kevin Bolin in here with us with a 2nd place finish, currently on mute. Kevin, tell us about your race. What was the high notes for you?
So I don't really think I had any high notes, to be fair. I was just trying to keep it clean. And then
Mhm.
when the safety car came out, I pitted because I was like, well, let's get my pit stop done under so I don't lose as much. And
Yeah.
then it just seemed to work. Like I just gained a few places from people making mistakes, trying to push forward too quick. Um, I did have a bit of contact with a McLaren into the last corner,
Yeah.
which I don't actually know what actually happened. I felt like I was tight to the inside. I feel like he might have just turned in for the apex, not realizing I was actually there. And I think that caused my car to be quite loose. So I was just trying to hold on to the podium.
I mean, well, it looks like you were. I mean, it looks like from our end, it looked like you were pretty collected. So if you were dealing with like some looseness on track, we couldn't necessarily tell it from inside the box. But that survivor mentality, also very effective strategy um, here around Laguna. I mean, a lot of people don't think about it, but kind of also a testament to what Jacob pulled off. If you really just go out there and you just plug out laps and you just keep yourself clean, you can get you can get a good result out of a track like Laguna. So congratulations, second place finish, Eric. Anything you want to add?
No, just want to say that Kevin was probably the reason that I was encouraged to try and go find someone. Tried really hard to get this race streamed, and now I know why. He just wanted to get himself on the stream when he got a podium. So there you have it, Kevin. Great
Well,
job.
I did say like when I looked at the season, the first half of the season was not my best tracks. And like the last half, like I was like, I'm actually like quite good at them ones. Like I feel like I can get on the podium. So like I definitely want them ones streamed. Like I don't care about the first four. But like I
Uh,
had a really bad race last week, and ended up parking the car,
Yeah,
and the same the week before. So coming out with second here, is a massive like achievement. And to be fair, I don't think I would have been able to do it if it wasn't for the group of guys that I hang out with, which is Dakota, Nat, Michael, Pico, uh, Joe Harkness, Jason Vondra, all them lot. So cheering me on at the end to go for the podium. So
that's great, man. That's great. Well, so if survival was the theme for your race at Laguna, it's gonna be kind of a big deal next week at Bathurst. You ready for that one?
I've I've I'm quite all right at Bathurst. I
Okay.
know how to
All right.
keep it out the wall.
All right. Well, congratulations. Second place finish means a lot. Looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing you at Mount Panorama. Colin, third place finish. How was that race for you?
Yeah, it went better than expected, to be honest. I didn't have a chance to really practice all that much, so kind of
Mhm.
jumped in and qualified 24th and just kind of kept my nose clean. And I was stuck behind a little bit of traffic, so saved some fuel and came into the pits. And I knew what number I needed to hit, so I was just kind of working through that. And yeah, just kept the nose clean.
Yeah, you were far and away the biggest mover and shaker on the grid. 21 spots on this race. That has to feel very rewarding.
That just means I need to practice more.
Sure, but at the same time too, I mean, you take the wins when you get them, man. I'm trying to help you out here. Eric, is there anything you want to ask Colin?
No, Colin, just great job. 20 positions gained from qualifying is incredible. I don't know the last time I remember even thinking about someone making progress like that. So, yeah, great job and congratulations. Podium position here at Trackalicious.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So with that, Eric, I think we can talk a little bit more about the race results before we call it a good night for everybody. Um, yeah, Jacob Cunningham coming away with some really good points, and it sounds like from what Kevin and Colin were telling us, they wandered into some pretty good points haul without necessarily really understanding if that was going to be possible or not. Um, yeah, that was that was a good race. That was a great race to watch. I'm really looking forward to seeing this crowd at Bathurst. What were your thoughts on the race?
Before we get to that, we actually have Wesley in chat saying that he lost connection at the start of the race. That was really unfortunate, Wesley. We were watching you, trying to figure out what was going on. I do have a question for you, Wesley, before you leave. What happened 3/4 of the way into the race? Because you pitted again, and then you were racing for 12th or so position, and then suddenly disappeared.
Yeah, that would be very good to know. It would also be very interesting to know just like kind of like who like really struggled with like the pit stops while we're waiting for Wesley to chime in. Because I do think pit strategy played a heavy factor in this race. And I think, I mean, if correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, we're probably going to see more of that stuff. Oh, I see. Grim Reaper saying there was an incident between him and Wesley, it looks like.
Yeah, and that's Josh Willis.
Yeah,
So that's really unfortunate. We know they were battling. They had pretty good pace, both each other, and we're waiting to see Josh and Wesley if you guys were the smarter of the group of the alt strategies coming out on top. But unfortunately, today was not your day, and even more so for Wesley, seemingly. So yeah, it's unfortunate, and hope to see you guys next week.
Yeah. It's gonna be awesome to see you guys back on track next week. And Wesley, tough luck, but at the same time too, man, you were rapid. And I think Mount Panorama, it's gonna be kind of a similar flavor to Laguna. So I'm really interested to see what kind of pace you can pull around the mountain. And Josh, crap happens, man. But you still raced really well, and you still had really good pace in the car. And the result you did end up with, I mean, that's got to be at least some small silver lining in the fact that you're going to walk away with some points. But it'll be interesting to see everybody at Mount Pan. With that, Eric, I think we should call it. This was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad you invited me along, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Thanks, Phil. I already have a raid set up here and just launched it. Yeah, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for the fantastic race that you guys put on, and all